I should have watched this presentation yesterday, but I was really caught up in Sea of Thieves and catch up on Dauntless before the new escalation of bosses stuff rolled around today. But as they say, better late than never. This might be a little loud. Oh, because I think Final Fantasy. Oh shoot! Hold on a second. So the newest Final Fantasy is actually the first announcement. I am aware of that already, but let me see what they have to showcase from the frick. Oh boy. It's always YouTube. It's always is YouTube that's like not so friendly with the formatting on OBS for some reason. I have no idea why. Whoops, I forgot. I need to unmute that. There we go. This is supposed to be working, isn't it? So why is it muted? There we go. Oh, so how's it going, Skullslinger? Here we go.
Each time I awake, this planet seems somehow different.
Where are we?
You see things others can't.
This is the power that flows through this land. Yet, you do not fully understand it.
But whatever comes, I will be ready.
Okay, let's do this.
It's really interesting, actually, because like this kind of also just proves the rumor right now. Well, for right now, that Sony has made a competitor device to the Nintendo Switch. But given how we have like a physical machine and like a digital machine, I don't know. I don't think that's actually going to be the case. But there's still, if Sony is not the one to actually make a machine that's a competitor to this baby already, then there's a chance Microsoft could just do it. After all, they probably can do the same thing what Nintendo did to the Switch and make it Xbox, like a portable Xbox version that can convert from, um, what is it, handheld to console and back and forth. The new PS5 seems cool from what I've seen, but this year's the year I got to get proper game PC. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they do have their digital machine with the full specs, just like their physical machine. But nowadays, everybody's going digital nowadays, unless you're like one of those collectors and hoarders who like to like hoard and collect physical material, like a stack of CDs that you might want to sell later on in life that could probably be worth, I don't know, thousands or millions of dollars. Okay, PC emulating the PS5 experience. Okay.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant.
How do we even know the girl will be among us?
Our kind do not question orders, we follow them.
Chocobos.
Sergeant, let's summon their icon.
Icon? That thing's a bloody mountain.
Our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily. This will be a bitter fight.
You should not be out of doors. We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting us.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him.
Obviously, action combat.
What do you mean you refuse? Did you not pledge your swords to our cause?
Oh, Rafflesia.
What does it matter? It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight.
So, I sent in the Dragoons. Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
It's the Archduke's son.
Phoenix.
Joshua! Stop this!
Second light on a fire. But that's impossible. The legacy of the crystals. Has shaped our history. For long enough. I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Oh shoot, this is also going to be available on PC. Hello. Well, time for me to beat my Windows version of Windows edition of Final Fantasy 15 first. Well, actually, to be fair though, with Final Fantasy, all the games like share common elements with each other, although they're not completely connected stories. Like you have shared elements, like the crystals obviously has been a core point of the Final Fantasy games. You have the common enemies and the common wildlife, like the chocobo birds, the cactuar, the esper summons that like characters can do out of nowhere. And it seems like with Square Enix, they are straying little by little away from being a turn-based game for as in the previous Final Fantasy format, although they've tried something like sort of a hybrid with the latest Final Fantasy 7 remake, which is to be continued, of course, because the remake is now expanded into a span of 3 games instead of just like one whole game completely together, just like how it is from the original game. So, man, oh man, oh man. I don't know how to feel. Well, I never usually like put like getting these AAA titles for like full price and whatnot. So, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But so far it looks pretty nice. It seems like what is it? The Witcher and Game of Thrones have really set a standard to how Western fantasies should be portrayed. I think like this is the one Final Fantasy game I noticed that has been very influenced by Western fantasy in general. Because like if you look at the if you look at the tones, it's like very Shadowborn-esque, Elder Scrolls-esque. The color palette is not as bright or like just like most Asian fantasy games. Well, you have this part right here where like she is okay, actually I should refresh my Windows capture. Yeah, what's up what's up Drac? How you doing? Let me go ahead and refresh my window capture so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So, so apparently, like what I'm noticing, like right off the bat, is like the things that they did for Final Fantasy 16 here is that it definitely has the most notable like tones and stuff of a Western fantasy game, and plus I think there's like a studio that's like I think Square Enix is gonna publish, but I think it's a different studio that's like working on this game. That's pretty. It seems interesting, really. Although it is still a Final Fantasy game at the end of the day, but you have notes of like The Witcher here. You have notes of Dark Souls here. You probably did take some notes from Dark Souls, honestly. And it seems like moving forward, any future Final Fantasy games, unless they're remakes of the old games, are probably going to be following an action-based combat system. Yeah, that's definitely that's like an orc from like Lord of the Rings. This definitely is Lord of the Rings-esque. See, all these Western fantasy titles I'm talking about, like, it seems like this is the one Final Fantasy game that really has that Western fantasy influence stick out amongst all the other ones. So yeah.
It's the Archduke's son.
Phoenix.
Of course, we have like a lot of English cast members. By English, I mean British, Australian, or, you know, medieval. That's the word I'm looking for.
Second life on a fire. But that's impossible.
Because when you look at these kind of fantasy games, like, you just think medieval stuff. The next thing you think about is The Witcher, Dark Souls, Lord of the Rings, all these Western fantasy, like, media.
Has shaped our history.
Well, now you're here, Drax, so...
Enough. I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Those textures be clean, though. So, here's my one gripe about the visual appeal overall. I feel like, the way they texture the humans, their skin is still a little bit more, anime-esque, because their skin looks a little bit too clean and stuff. Like, even if you play Final Fantasy 15, which I have the Windows version of, it's still like all the other textures on everything else looks incredibly amazing. Those titans, they are roughly stroked. You can see the individual shadows and gradients on them. Like, that's on point. Like, but the human, like, facial detail is still, like, very anime-esque. Like, you could see the details in the hair right here. But this is, like, I know this probably isn't the final product, but this is a little bit more smooth than I expected. But you look at the leather, though, and that's, like, you can see, like, the lighting that's impacting right here, the different shadows, now, and the different, which will create the different gradients. Now, this is impressive. And you look at the details on this creature right here. Look at this. That's actually pretty good. And of course, the PlayStation 5 is a next generation console. So obviously, all companies who are making games for the PlayStation 5 are pushing graphics to the very next level. But I actually got Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition at a discount. I never like paying full price for my games anymore. I also got Monster Hunter Stories, which we're going to be trying out pretty soon, later tonight, at a discount too. Probably one of the cheaper Nintendo 3DS discounts. Let me see here. Anything else? This looks okay. It's a burning body. There's fire effects. There's blood. Like, these still look like they still look a little bit like anime characters because of how, like, because this is just a Final Fantasy game, it's not meant to look 100% realistic like Death Stranding or like any other game, you know? So anyways, I'm also glad this is going to be available on PC, because if I don't have a PlayStation PS5, I can at least like play the PC version, and maybe the PC version has exclusives that are available for it because I think the Windows version of Final Fantasy 15 has exclusive stuff for it too. So that's my current thoughts for this game. We have yet to see more, so let's see what we got next. All cinematic and gameplay footage you're about to see from this point forward in the show has been captured from PS5. Cool.
It's too cold to change out here.
Miles, let's go.
Dang, I'm late for Mom's rally.
It's the homie Miles.
Subway card, check. You got the house key? Yeah, I got it.
Come on! We're gonna be late!
Hey! Dude, I am so filling your suit with snow. Are you still wearing your suit?
Yeah, you know, just in case.
It's gonna be fine.
Oh, this is a mission? Okay.
See, this is my favorite part of living in Harlem. Pop-up street